Hi everyone, welcome to Mission to Mouse. My name is Felicia and today we are with my very good friend Shayna with The Hue Lifestyle. She's got a great blog and YouTube channel, definitely check her out. This is the second video in our series about how to get great photos at Disney World while you're on vacation. The first one was on what to wear to look good in your photos, and this one is going to be all about how to do your makeup so it stays all day in that terrible Florida humidity, through the water rides, through your own sweat. So Shayna is going to show us how to do that, and it's actually this look here, so if you would like to see how to do that and how to make your makeup stay all day long in Disney World so you look great in all those photos, stick around and watch. So let's go, let's do it.
So we're starting off with a freshly cleaned face, and we're going to start with priming. When you're talking about longevity of makeup, to me it comes down to priming and creating a nice foundation for the face, and then also setting the product at the end. So we're going to start out with Urban Decay's Primer Potion. This is the original formula. There's not any amount of pigment to it, but it just helps lock your shadows in. So I'm going to have you close your eyes, and I'm just going to dab a bit of this on your lid space. And you can use this with your fingers. No need to use a brush for this step.
I'm a fan of that.
It's easy, and I don't use a brush for this step myself, so it keeps life easy. Alright, so now that that's blended in, we're going to go on and prime our face. Now, what I like to use that's, I feel like, one of the best primers for oily skin and then also just locking in foundation is going to be this Becca Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector. Very huge into repetitive P's. So you just need to use a small amount, and we are going to put this in the T-zone and then a little bit on the tops of those cheeks. And this is going to help set the foundation and help that makeup last all day. Now, this product does set up rather quickly, so you want to make sure that once you apply it to the skin and do your dots, you rub it in quite quickly. Now, it is really good at priming the skin in a very kind of almost drying manner, like that's how it prevents the moisture from coming back through, so you're gonna feel a bit of like dehydration and tightening when you wear the product initially. So it's just, I don't know, it's very effective at priming and mattifying, but it's a very interesting feeling product on your skin.
It does feel interesting. I don't hate it though.
Do you feel like that almost like constriction? Almost? That, it's weird, but that helps that oil stay at bay all day long. And it's one of the things, like, I'm not good at touching up my makeup through the day, and it helps lock it in all day long. So we're gonna let that face primer set, and we're gonna come back to the eyes right now.
Okay.
So just to kind of help get a clean slate, I'm gonna use just a tab of your concealer on your eyelid. So go in and close for me. And this is just gonna help kind of neutralize the look of, you know, the eyeshadow on your eyelids, and also allow those eyeshadows to stay a bit longer and truer as well. Now, to spruce up your brows just a bit, we are going to use a little bit of this Glow Minerals brow pencil in taupe. Now, you have really pretty natural full brows, so this is just going to help kind of add a little bit of density to them, because I feel like sometimes in pictures, eyes can get lost, and we kind of forget that brows frame the eyes. So even if you're blessed with really pretty brows like you have, it's important to go in and accent them just a little.
Yeah, that sounds good. I would never think to do it in this order.
Yeah, I feel like with my face and with like clients, I bounce back and forth. And both of these primers need to kind of set up a bit. So this allows them both to set up. And a lot of times it's nice with the face to do your eyes first. That way if there was any eyeshadow fallout, it's easy to clean it up before you conceal under your eyes. But all of that just kind of depends on your preference.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Alright, so now what we're going to do, the eye look is going to be really simple. We're going to just do a nice kind of tight eyeliner to the lash line just to add some emphasis there. And then one eyeshadow on your lid, and we're just going to softly blend it out. Keep it easy, not anything crazy, because you're, getting ready to be out in the sun all day and want to have some fun with your family. So we're going to go on and tight line those eyes. Now this is a waterproof eyeliner from Sephora. And I actually really like their range of product because it's super affordable, but an amazing quality of product.
I really like that you're using waterproof because I've definitely gotten off Splash Mountain and looked like I had been crying.
That's how you know you're having a good time.
Yeah, nothing like crying at the happiest place on earth.
I'm sure you're not the first. It's a good time, Happy emotions.
Yeah, so this is a great idea. I don't know why I'd never thought of it before.
I actually really love the texture of this eyeliner. I mean, it's a pencil, so you have to sharpen it, but it's just a pretty creamy eyeliner. And yeah, waterproof is the way to go. And then we're just going to use a short shader brush to just buff that out. So that's when you can keep your eyes closed. When people worry too much about their eyeliner being perfect, I kind of prefer things to be a little more smudgy and natural. And you can always just blur it out. It keeps, lines soft. It's a little more natural, a little more universally flattering and forgiving. So just use that shader brush just to soften those lines. And that also helps kind of smudge that eyeliner closer into the lash line too. If you're a little bit nervous of being too close to the eye, using a shader brush will help kind of push it down into that lash line a little tighter for you.
Yeah, I find I always have those gaps, like it's like line and then my skin and then my eyelash.
Yes. You can use like a black eyeliner and a skosh of like a black or a super dark brown shadow to help fill in that space, but even the shader brush will help do that for you. And then for our lid color, we're just going to work with this Too Faced Natural Eyes palette. And just to have some depth on the eye, have some shimmer, and emphasize her natural eye color, we're going to use this color right here called Push Up. I like it because it's not super pale against her skin. It's kind of close to her skin tone, but the shimmer is just going to reflect light and just look really pretty in pictures. But I just think be kind of nice and flirty for daytime. So go on in close to me, and we are going to put that all over the lid space, kind of starting in the center of her lid, and then just lightly buffing it into those corners. And as you can see, it's a gorgeous kind of almost like a bronzy pink, but it'll give good depth to the eye, but not be, too, look what I did for my makeup for Disney, but just look really pretty so that all of your friends are envious of your pictures. And the key to when applying shadows, I think sometimes when people don't feel like they're getting the color payoff that they want, you want to pack first and then swipe to blend it out. So pack and then swipe to blend. A little bit with that nude shade. Now to bring that lower lash line in, we're going to take that same nude shade from the Natural Eyes palette with our short shader brush and work that under the lash line. All right, look up for me. Now, this is nice because it gives your eye definition, but it's not as harsh as like a black eyeliner or something dark. So if you were to sweat or rub your eyes or something, it's not going to give you a big kind of, caught in the rain, overly smudged look, but give your eyes definition, which is important for pictures.
Mm.
So those are our eyes complete. I just feel the need to do that on that side. All right, I'm good. Now, with our eyes complete, we're going to move on to our face. And I know you love this Marcel BB cream. It's a nice golden shade. It emphasizes your skin tone. And this one's going to be nice because even though this gives you a little more glow, that mattifying primer is going to give you hold and kind of buffer that, glowing factor just a little bit. So we're going to go on and apply just a pump of that with our hands. We don't need a ton of coverage, but just enough to even out the skin tone a little bit.
It's like a face massage.
Oh yeah.
And take a nap.
Go for it.
I feel like this is very doable.
Yeah.
Even, early mornings you're getting up to go to the park and you really don't feel like spending an hour on your hair and face. I mean, this is easy.
Yeah. Well, I think that takes some of the joy out of the trip, right? If you're way too consumed with making sure, you have all these steps to your foundation, that takes away from the fun of a vacation. So this is a nice way to get the coverage, get the glow, but be able to enjoy that time in the park.
Yeah, and this is really nice too because it's so hot there, obviously, and this does not feel heavy.
Yeah. That's the perk of a BB cream. They tend to be lighter, more natural on the skin, and that's one, you want to prime the skin. All right, kind of tilt your chin up for me. You want to prime the skin, but it's also important not to overdose what you've got going on it coverage-wise, because that way if you were to wipe your brow or whatnot, you don't want to have all these layers to have to fuss with. We are going to slightly drag it onto your neck just to keep it consistent.
Yes, my neck stays so white. It's the weirdest thing. It doesn't matter how tan my face is, my neck is white.
Yeah. It's a pretty neck, so it's not so bad. All right, so now that we've done that BB cream all over your face, we're going to go in with your concealer and perk up that under eye space. Now, we've already done your eyeshadow there, so we can get really close to that lash line to perk you up.
Okay.
So go in with this nice camouflaging, but kind of correcting concealer as well. And I think something that people tend to do or tend to forget, a lot of times you think, all right, I have this darkness right inside this crescent. A lot of times, if you bring it down just a little bit more, like in a triangle, you get much more of a highlighting effect. So that's just a little tip there.
I'll have to try that. So I definitely have plenty of dark circles to go around, and mine are allergy related, so it's not that I'm tired.
You look up for me?
I always have dark circles because of allergies.
Well, and a lot of people, unfortunately, think that it is something they're doing, but it's skin tone, right? So a lot of that comes down to genetics, could be allergies like you're saying. So it's not necessarily something that you're doing wrong, it's just kind of sometimes what our skin tone is.
Yeah.
So before I move on to the other eye, I'm going to go on and set that under eye with this translucent powder. This one's from BLF, and that's just going to add a little extra perk under there. And I'm actually going to kind of cake it on. I'm going to do kind of like a subdued baking effect. Now, I love how fine this is. I actually don't normally use this one.
Yeah, she's using my stuff.
Yep. We're kind of mixing.
Which is good.
But yeah, so I love the consistency of this. And I know what you're like, man, you're really packing it on. But what you're going to do when you're baking, you're going to let it sit there. We're going to do the rest of the face, and then you sweep it off. So that concealer is going to absorb a little bit more of that powder and have time for it to bake in or set. So that's the essence of baking.
Yeah, I've never ever done that.
And this is the most demure ways. You'll see, some people that do much more dramatic looks, or a lot of times people that do a lot of stage work, they'll do it much more intensely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not necessarily necessary for us normal schmormal people, but it does actually help makeup stay longer in the day. So it's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, that's great.
I love using brushes, but if you don't use a lot of brushes in your makeup routine, it's totally okay. Just keep your hands clean. But a lot of times your body heat is really great for like melding product into the skin. So don't feel that you have to have some big crazy kit. You can use what nature gave you. Alright, so we're going to go back to that translucent powder and set the under eye. And I think it's funny, like this is not my brush, but this is actually the ELF blush brush that I don't feel is personally big enough for blush, but I feel like it fits amazing under the eye. So a lot of times I'll hit under the eye and then just lightly sweep it into that T-zone to kind of set that BB cream as well. Just a skosh more. Alright, now we're going to go on to blush. Now we are going to use the blush out of this Tarte Energy Noir palette. I actually love Tarte blushes. I have several of them myself at home. Tarte blushes I think are amazing because of the clay formulation. They will truly last about 12 hours or so on the skin. So that's something that is going to be perfect for a long day at the park. And also, more of a matte formulation is going to also be better for more long-term, because sometimes your natural oils will come through your skin and give you more glow. So you don't necessarily need to highlight for that. So we are going to use the blush in this palette with your stippling brush and start in the apples of your cheek and sweep it back to your hairline.
I think that's a really good tip. I don't know, I have a very hard time figuring out where my blush should go.
You can stay with like kind of the classic technique of the smile, find the apple, and then sweep back. And depending on the blush formulation, some formulations you need to kind of start by tapping and then sweeping in. But a lot of that just comes into, kind of play, preference of the look, and formulation of the blush. But blush is one of those things that really gives life to the skin. So even if you want to, kind of skip bronzer, blush is one of those things that really gives a lot of bang for the buck. So we're going to go through now and sweep out that excess powder from under the eyes. Use that to kind of blend out our blush a little bit. And then we will move on to our final steps.
Sounds good.
Alright, so our finishing touches are going to be our brow gel and our mascara and our setting spray. So for brow gels, I really like this one from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is their brown, and this is just going to give a little bit more hold to the brows, allow them to pop, but just make sure we kind of honestly take a little bit of the, powdery look of brows that can happen once we're kind of this far into the makeup look out. So it'll help set them in place and add a little more subtle definition. And then, most importantly, waterproof mascara. And I'm going to allow you to do this one.
All right. I can do that. You've been working pretty hard.
Yeah. Help me out.
I can do this one
Help me
thing.
out.
It's a big deal, but
one thing. Can't you do this one thing?
I'd probably do it wrong. It's very possible.
Oh, no. Oh. That's okay.
Leave out.
Yeah, the nice thing with mascara is like if you let it dry where it falls, if you have a little box that falls down, let it dry,
let it?
and then you swipe it away with a tissue or a Q-tip. I promise you, it really works.
Okay, because I usually freak out and I move it and then I get it all over my face.
You gotta wait till
immediately.
it dries. If you wait till it dries, you'll be good to go.
Well, that is good to know. Do I put it on the bottom too or just top?
So that depends on your preference. I tend to be really expressive, so I don't put it on the bottom because it moves all over. However, if you like that definition and that's not a problem you tend to have, go on, put it on your lower lash line for a definition.
I don't usually put it on the bottom. I'm going to skip it.
We're, cool club.
All right.
All right, let me get a paper towel and we'll take care of that one little bit.
Okay. I will not smudge it until you get back.
All right.
And then I'll just make like a tiger stripe on the side of my face.
All right, so we're just going to use our fan to dry it just to make sure we're good.
Yeah, so like a princess or
You
something.
are a
I'm getting the
princess.
Disney stuff started early.
You are a princess. You know you live in the Southland. You have to keep a towel in with your makeup brushes because you get so hot doing your makeup. You have to like fan yourself, which I do. It's in like my container with my brushes because I just get hot. I just gotta fan
Well,
myself.
that's a lot of work.
Yeah, but as you can see, that dried mascara just flakes right off.
Wow.
So don't stress about it.
Okay, good. I'll have
Just
to start
like-
doing that.
Just
I
let it
always-
rest, let it be, and move on.
That's awesome. I always smudge it every
No.
time.
You don't have to worry about it. Now, what I feel like is one of the defining factors in longevity of makeup is a setting spray. I know there's different people feel different ways about them, but I love the Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray. It once again is going to give you kind of that constricting, dehydrated feeling that the primer gave you, but it really is the ticket for making your makeup last all day. So what I'm going to do is do kind of a T across your forehead, do like 2 or 3 sprays there, and then do 2 or 3 sprays down in kind of that T shape of your T-zone where you'd get the most oil. So go on and close your eyes for me. Keep your face nice and relaxed. And then we are going to use our handy dandy fan again, which you don't have to use. I like the glamour of it, and it's also not so bad to have a fan when you're at Disney because it's hot as the dickens.
Why not?
So just make sure we are just right. There we go.
And we're done?
There we go. We're all set.
That's easy.
You're
I
glowing.
can definitely do that in the morning.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the park.
Let's do it. Let's go. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us today for this awesome makeup tutorial with Shayna from The Hue Lifestyle. Be sure to check out her YouTube channel. I'll put a link to it down here and maybe in a bubble if I can figure out how to do that. So check her out, subscribe, visit her blog, visit my blog. You've got a lot of stuff to do, guys. You better get on it. You can handle it. Thank you for visiting us, and we will see you next time. Bye. Did I thank you in that?
Yeah.
I did. Okay.
Yeah.
You did so